the new railway. One day on the Mid-Southern Railway, Duke and all the other engines were working hard. They were needing to get the money to rebuild the railway, and they knew it was important for them to rebuild the railway. "And this is the mountain road," said Duke. "Take pictures, you may not be able to come here again," said Duke, as he stopped so the passengers could take pictures. "Lovely view, isn't it?" said Duke. It is, said the coaches and passengers. "And this is the Old Iron Bridge," said Falcon, one of the most common crash sites on the railway. "You may not be able to come here again, so take pictures," said Falcon. And he spotted Duke in the distance. "Oh, there's Duke," said Falcon. "Good morning, Duke. Peep, peep." Duke heard the whistle, but not Falcon's words. "Good morning, Falcon. Peep, peep." "Now it's time for us to get a move on," said Duke. And he steamed off. "Right, it's about time we get on a move on," said Falcon. "Right, has everybody taken their pictures?" said Falcon. "Yes, we have," said the passengers. They have, said the coaches. "Okay," said Falcon. "Time to get steaming off then." And Falcon steamed on. Later that day, the manager came up to the engines. "Engines, I have good news and bad news." "Which news do you want to hear first?" said the manager. "Tell us the good news," they all said, even the coaches, trucks and flatbeds. "Right, we have enough money to rebuild some of our engines. We can and also modify some of them, but now we are on to the bad news. We do not have enough money to rebuild the railway yet. We have to keep on paying to keep the railway open. So I'm afraid we will have to sell some of our engines," said the manager. "Oh," said the engines, coaches, trucks and flatbeds. "So you'll have to say goodbye to a lot of our engines. So I'm afraid we are not able to keep all the engines." "We understand, sir," said the engines. "Good. Now, I think it's time we rebuild some of our engines. The main engines I'm interested on rebuilding are Tim and Jim. I will also give Albert new side plates, and also give him the new modifications for our railway, for the new railway." "Wait, we're going to have modifications?" "Yes, it's going to make coupling a little bit easier for you all." "Oh," said the engine. "That is amazing," they all said. "Glad you liked it, but now time to rebuild Jim, Tim and Albert," said the manager, and he walked away. Soon Jim got to the works. "Hello," said Jim. "Hello," said the workman. "We have been expecting you." "Okay," said Jim. "Just a quick question. Why am I here at the works?" said Jim. "Well," said the workman, "because I'm having you rebuilt," said the manager. "Oh my, Gordon Edwards, what are you doing here?" "I've came to tell you why you were sent here. You're being rebuilt, so you will be a much better engine now," said the manager. "Oh my," said Jim. "I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," said the manager. "Thank you, sir," said Jim. "No problem now. Workman, get to rebuilding gym, the manager said. Yes sir, they all said. Now Jim, do you want to be asleep or awake when we do it? I always like to be awake. I want to see you all just rebuilding me. I want to see how it looks, said Jim. I've never really been rebuilt before, so I'm just curious, said Jim. Okay, said the workmen, and they got to work. Whoa! Wow! I feel like a completely new and different engine, said Jim. Glad you liked it, said the manager. Oh, hello, Gordon Edwards, said Jim. Now, Jim, Tim is due to go here now, so you can head back to the works. I mean the sheds, said Gordon Edwards. Okay, sir, said Jim. And he steamed away. Soon Tim got to the works, but he was confused why he was there. Why am I here, said Tim. Because you're getting rebuilt, said the workman. Is that okay? Yes, said Tim. But I still don't understand why. It's because I ordered you to be rebuilt, Tim, said the manager. Wait, what? Said Tim. Yes, Tim. Now we are actually going to rebuild you into a tram engine. You'll be putting passengers again on the line, and you will feel like a new engine. Well, I don't know what to say, sir. You don't have to say anything, Tim. Thank you, said Tim. I always wanted to be a tram engine again. Okay, well, workmen, get to work. And the manager walked away. Yes, sir, said the workmen, and they got to work. First, they took off Tim's paint. Oh wow, this is what my metal looks like, said Tim. Yes, it does, said the workman. Then they fitted on side plates and repainted him black. However, before they did repaint him black, they did give him lower side tanks and a bigger firebox. Right, said the manager. You are now ready to go back to the sheds. Heads back there now, said the manager. Yes, sir, said Tim. And Tim went away to the sheds. When Tim got back to the sheds, he is a little confused. What's going on? Said Tim. You didn't hear, said Jim. Hear what? Said Tim. Hear that the manager is said Duke. Saying a lot about us, said Duke. Oh, said Tim. Don't tell me he's going to sell some of us, said Tim. We don't know if he will, but I hope he doesn't. This is the perfect railway for us. Yeah, but what if he just rebuilt us so we can go on another railway? Said Tim. I don't know, Tim. Maybe, maybe not, said Jim. I hope we don't get sold, said Tim. You're not, said the manager. My sir, you came out of nowhere, said Duke. Yes, I did, Duke. I just beat Tim here, so. Hey, you beat me here? Yes, I've been over there watching you both. You all. My, said Tim. Don't worry, you all. I'm not selling any of you. If I am going to sell any of you, it would have to be these coaches. But they're good truth and medicine, so I won't sell them, said the manager. Anyways, said the manager. Jim, don't be worried, I won't sell you. both. That's not the reason why I rebuilt you. We have to sell the engines to rebuild the railway. And because I had to rebuild you for the new railway, we have no more money to rebuild the railway. And I think we never will unless I sell some of our engines, said the manager. But where will we go? Said Jim. I mean, where will they go? Said Jim. Don't worry, I'll send them to respectful controllers, said the manager. As for now, get back to work. Or you can stay here for now, said the manager, and chat with the other engines. And Gordon Edwards walked away. And this is Diesel 12, said Gordon Edwards to the Tanning Railway controller. Our finest diesel on the railway, said the manager. He has a claw, said the Tanning Railway controller. That's crunchy, said Diesel 12. Will you buy him? Just if you do, make sure to take good care of him, said the manager. I'll buy him. For how much? Said Gordon Edwards. I'll buy him for £5,000, said the Tanning Railway controller. That's a lot, said the manager. Wow, said Diesel 12. Now, make sure to take good care of him. I will, said the Tanning Railway controller. I know you too well, said Gordon Edwards. What are you doing here, Leonard? Remember, we were sent here to do this work, said. Oh, right. What are you doing here, Bernard? What you said. But I was sent here first. I hate this job, don't you? I do. This job sucks. What are you laughing at, Blackie? I'll take them as well, said the mid-store manager. For how much? 5,000 as well, so that makes 10,000. That makes 15,000, said the manager. Yes, it does. That's nearly enough money to rebuild the railway, said the manager. It's sad to see you go, said Rust. Hope you can come and visit us someday, said Mr. Hugh. It's okay, stay strong, said Jack. Now, said the manager of a railway in Wales, well, in London, time to bring you over to London, and all you engines will be coming as well, said the controller of it. Yes, sir, they all said, and one by one, they all set off for London. Then a Scottish controller came up to Jack. Jack, we're going to take you to our new railway. Okay, sir, said Jack. So, I see you're a coal mine engine, said the manager of the railway. Yes, I am, sir, said Jack. Why do you like to work at our coal mines? At our mines, like, that's sort of the main purpose for our railway, said the Scottish controller. Yes, sir. Right, let's get a move on, said the Scottish controller. They uncoupled Jack from the trucks and they steamed away to the Scottish railway. Soon wooden wheels came to the station, and then he saw the Scarlery railway controller. Hello, sirs, said Wooden Wheels. Hello, said Gordon Edwards. Wooden Wheels, we're having to sell you to the Scarlery Railway, said Gordon Edwards. Oh, can Ada, Jane and Mabel come? Said Wooden Wheels. No, said the Skyler Railway controller, but maybe in a couple years. Okay, said Wooden Wheels. And Wooden Wheels set off. Come back, come back, come back, don't leave us behind, please, please, said Ada, Jane and Mabel. But they knew he wouldn't come back. Soon Sid was ready to leave the railway. We're going to miss you, Sid. We're glad we all not been sold, said Vox. But he had said the sold part. The other one, all the engines said that he was sad that she was going. I'm sad that I'm going as well, said Sid. Sid, said Alfred. Yes, Alfred. We got you, said Atlas. A gift, said Tim. It's purple paint, said Vox. Here's the paint, and they gave Sid the black and purple paint with the red. Thank you, said Sid. Do you like it? Said Vox. Like it? Said Sid. I love it, said Sid. This cheered the engines up. Try Burnett Stone, can we please put it on? Said Sid. Yes, we can, Sid, said Burnett Stone. They took off Sid's buffers and they repainted her. Said Sid. This is wonderful. Thank you all, said Sid quietly. No problem. You're welcome, they all said, and Sid steamed off for the Magic Railroad. Soon Sid went to the Magic Railroad. Soon Tim came back to the sheds. You okay, Sid? Said Jim. Yes, said Tim. All our engines that have been sold are sold. What about Sid? Did they sell her? Said Jim. No, said Tim. She's too important. She's running on the Magic Railroad again. I never got to say goodbye to Sid, said Stanley sadly. How was she when she left? Said Stanley. Said Tim. She was happy. We gave her purple paint. Her buffers were removed. I've never seen her as so much happier than that in my entire life, said Tim. Oh, said Stanley. That's nice. Then the manager came. Engines, I get you said that a lot of our engines have been sold, but we need to get to working to rebuild the railway now. Duke and all of you will all be pulling trains to rebuild the railway. Now, your usual jobs will be cancelled and we will be working on the railway. Now get to work, said the manager, and he walked away. Right, said Duke, you heard him. We need to get to rebuilding the railway. We have no time to lose. Team, let's get rebuilding the railway, said Duke. The engines whistled and cheered, while the coaches, trucks and flatbeds cheered in happiness. It was a couple days later and Duke was pulling the train for the new railway. He was very excited. He hasn't seen the progress on the new railway yet. He couldn't wait for it. I can't wait to see how the new railway is It's probably going to be exciting, said Duke, and he raced off. When Duke arrived, he was amazed at the railway and its progress. My, said Duke, this is amazing, said Duke. He was so happy. The railway looked amazing. Then a workman came to Duke. Duke, we need you to pull these trucks up closer to the sheds. Okay, said Duke, and he pulled the trucks and vans closer to the sheds. This railway's wonderful, said Duke. Can't wait for it to be complete, and then we can work on it. And it will be amazing, said Duke. He pulled and pulled the train over to the sheds. Then Duke saw the sheds only had 2 berths. What was my berth? There's only 2 berths, said Duke. Don't worry, Duke, said the workman. Where's the other berth, though? Said Duke. Calm, Duke, calm. We're building you your own shed. It'll be ahead of the line. Oh, said Duke. I'm fine with that, then. And then Duke steamed off to get more loads. To get more supplies, I mean. Duke was taking his train back to the new railway after he was loaded up with more supplies, when suddenly, "Look out, Duke!" said Rock. "Look out!" said Atlas. "What?" said Duke. "As soon as I get this job over with," said Alfred, "the sooner I can get back to going back to normal work." "Look out, Alfred," said Duke. "Ah," said Alfred. Luckily, he stopped in time and just clinked with Duke's cylinder. "What were you thinking, Alfred?" said Duke. "Sorry, Duke," said Alfred, "but I hate this job." Some of the engines were enjoying the work, while some not as much. "Alfred, you nearly killed Duke," said Rox. "Yeah, even if he didn't die, you would have harmed him badly," said Atlas. "Now say sorry to him." "Sorry, Duke," said Alfred. "Oh," said Duke. "Now get on with your work," said Duke. "Yes, Duke," said Alfred, and he steamed off. Soon Alfred arrived at the railway. He said, "I hate pulling this train." Then a workman came up to Alfred. "Alfred." "Yes," said Alfred in anger. "We need you to pull this train up to the sheds. Can you do that?" said the workman. "Yes," said Alfred out of anger. He was really angry at pulling this train. He wanted the railway to be finished in seconds. However, he did not stop at the sheds. "Wait, what? Ah!" said Alfred, and he derailed. "Shoot! I've derailed," said Alfred. "Did somebody say shoot?" "Oh no, I didn't. Oh no," said Alfred. "I didn't mean in that kind of shoot." 3 boys ran up and they got out toy guns and they began to shoot at Alfred. "No, no, please, mercy, mercy," said Alfred, and then he heard the children going pew, 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 pew. "You got me. I thought I was about to die," said Alfred, Pew, pew, pew! We got him, said the first boy. The children laughed and they ran away. Growled Alfred. Soon Stanley came. Hello, Alfred. Oh, hello, Stanley, said Alfred angrily. What happened? I drove off the rails, said Alfred. And worst part of all, I was tricked into thinking I was going to get killed by toy guns, said Alfred. Oh, ha, 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 laughed Stanley. You can't die by a gun, you're made out of metal, said Stanley. Oh, I know that now, stop making fun of me, said Alfred. Okay. Stanley quietly giggled to himself and he pulled Alfred back to the sheds. That night, Stanley shunted Alfred to the sheds. Oh my, Alfred, what happened to you? Said Duke. I crashed, and then I thought I was gonna die. He thought he was going to die, said Stanley, because, well, it's a bit funny. He thought that children had proper guns, and he thought he was going to die to bullets, said Stanley. The engines, coaches, trucks and flatbeds laughed. But engines can't die to bullets, they're made out of metal. Said Stanley. Not all engines are made out of metal, but most are. Laughed Duke. You really thought you were going to die to just a bit of said Crimson. Bullets from a toy gun, said Crimson. Those are the funniest things we've heard in weeks, said Stuart and Falcon. Okay, enough, said Gordon Edwards. Alfred, you will be taken to the works. Stanley, take him to the works, will you? Yes, sir, said Stanley, and Alfred was taken to the works. Giggled Stanley as he was taking Alfred to the works. Oh, shut up, said Alfred. The manager looked on, but he couldn't hold it in any longer, and he laughed. All the other engines, coaches, trucks and flatbeds laughed. I'll have to tell Stanley when he gets back that he has to take Alfred's trains, said the manager. Soon Stanley got to the sheds, but he was trying to not hear because all the engines, coaches and trucks were laughing out loud in their sleep. I can't listen to it, driver! Cried out Stanley. I can't either, Stanley. Let's get a move on, said his driver, and they raced off. They couldn't bear the sound any longer. Soon Stanley came to the last station on the line for now. The rails here was just being complete and going off to the next station. The rails were almost complete and it was only the stations and sheds needing to be built. Why do I have to pull Alfred's trains as well as my own? Said Stanley. It's because Alfred is at the works right now, said his driver. Whatever, said Stanley. It's just not suitable for an engine like me, said Stanley. Said the workman. Stanley, you're needed. You can have a quick break, but we need you back at work, said the workman. Okay, said Stanley. He then spotted Duke's new shed, and he got an idea. The idea flew into his funnel. Aha! I wonder how comfy Duke's shed is. Wood's shed, said Stanley, and he steamed off to the shed. And he got in it. Very comfy, said said Stanley. However, he accidentally fell asleep in the shed. Soon Smudger came to Ulfstead Road with supplies for the workmen and Tim's new shed. The blue van contained workmen and the guards. The second van contained food for the workmen. The first truck, that was grey, contained wood for the shed, and the green truck contained milk for the workmen. Ah, what a wonderful day it is, said Smudger, when suddenly "Oh, don't tell me," said Smudger. "Falcon, you better not be sleeping on the job again," said Smudger, and then he saw Stanley asleep. "Ah," said Smudger. "Guess I have to take his trucks back to the railway." "It's back to the old railway," said Smudger, and he shunted them away. That night, Stanley was still asleep. He was dreaming about being late for work, when suddenly... "Ah!" said Stanley, "I'm going to be late for work!" And he raced out the sheds. He was racing to get to work. I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late," said Stanley. He raced off in fear. Help me, I'm going to be late," said Stanley, and he raced off and crashed into the water. In the morning, they pulled Stanley out from the water, when suddenly, said Gordon Edwards. "Stanley, why did you crash?" "Sorry, sir," said Stanley, "but you see, I dreamt about being late and I thought I was late for work, and then I raced off and crashed into the water," said Stanley. "Oh, you should know better, just because, and I'm sending you to the works again." "Maybe I should remove your side tanks," said the manager. "No, please don't, sir, please don't," said Stanley. "I won't be able to hold as much water as I do now." "Okay," said the manager. "At least take Stanley to the works." "Okay, sir, but who's going to do Stanley's jobs?" "You'll be doing Stanley's, Atlas." "Okay," said Atlas, "but who's going to be doing Alfred's jobs?" said Atlas. "Proteus will," said Gordon Edwards. "Proteus?" said Stanley. "Proteus?" said Atlas. "I was not expecting him to say Proteus," said Stanley. "Neither was I. I thought he was going to say another engine," said Atlas. "Now, you will take Stanley to the works now, Atlas," said Gordon Edwards, and he walked away. Atlas took Stanley to the works. Proteus and Atlas worked together, pulling their own trains as well as Stanley's and Alfred's. Atlas would take his own train and Alfred's, while Proteus would take his own train and Stanley's. One day at the station, early in the morning, they were chatting. "So did you hear about what happened with, well, Alfred a couple days ago?" said Atlas. "Yes, I did. How he thought he was going to get killed, but it's just by a toy gun," said Atlas. "Yes, I did. It was hilarious," said Proteus. He giggled. "Well, I think I have to get back to my work now, Atlas. Maybe we can talk a bit more later, said Proteus, and he steamed off. Alice and Proteus were also the first engines to test out the new rolling stock. But then there was trouble. Alice steamed off as Proteus was crossing the points. "Look out," said Alice. "Oh no," said Proteus. Then they clinged to their buffers. "Oh, that was close," said Alice. "It was," said Proteus. "We nearly caused another crash. That would be 4 engines out. That was lucky we didn't crash," said Alice. "Yes," said Proteus. "Now let's get back to work," said Proteus. "Agreed," said Alice. All the engines were working hard to complete the railway. However, something tragic happened one night. The manager was in his new house when he passed away. The next day he was buried in his gravestone, and all the engines came, including Gordon Edwards' son and wife. Well, I don't know if I'm able to carry on working on the railway to keep the railway alive, said the son. "You can do it, son. I believe in you. You're as good as he was," said the son. Said the mom. "Okay," said the son. The gravestone read, Gordon Edwards. Then it showed his date of birth all the way to the date of his death. Then it read, the greatest narrow gauge manager for the greatest narrow gauge manager. He will be missed. The son began to get upset, and so did the engines. But he stayed strong. "Engines, I, Jordan Edwards," yes, Jordan, not Gordon, "will be taking over the operations on the railway. Don't worry, say your final words to him before we get back to work," said Jordan Edwards. "Thank you for my rebuild. I never got to thank you, sir, but thank you," said Tim. "You were always a great manager. Thank you for having us," said Jerry. "You were a great manager. The best, I will say," said Crimson. "I'll miss you so much." "I know I was quite rude, but I miss you so much, Gordon Edwards," said Albert. "I hope we can help you come back to life," said Smudger. "Thank you for my rebuild as well," said Jim. "I don't know what I would have done without you. I never got to thank you, but thank you," said Jim. "You've always been the manager I've liked. None of my other managers were nice to me." "Thank you for having me," said Duke. "Thank you for my rebuild. Well, modifications, even if they weren't complete yet," said Alfred. "I hope you have a happy afterlife," said Falcon. "I hope you can come back to life one day, or at least talk to us as a ghost," said Stuart. "Thank you for my modifications, even if they're not fully complete yet," said Stanley. "I know I was reckless, but I was never trying to. My gauge too narrow for the rails," said Stanley. "I'll miss you," said Rox. "If there's any way to bring you back to life, then we'll try it," said Rox. "Rest in peace," said Atlas. "You will be missed." "Thank you for having me on the railway. It's been nice working here with you, Gordon Edwards," said Proteus. "Yes," said Bertram. Thank you for letting me stay in my engine. Don't know what I would have done without you, said Bertram. And I'm thankful that he actually helped this railway stay alive for as long as it did. Now I'll be taking over your places. I'll be taking over his place as manager. Now, engines, we need to get back to work before the grand opening. Yes, sir, they all said. They whistled and steamed away. The engines got back to work and worked hard together. They were sad about the manager's passing, but they knew that they had to get to work and complete the railway before the grand opening. And this made them happy. They all worked together in class, as a class group. For an example, Falcon, Albert and Proteus are part of the Falcon class, so they all pulled the same trains together. This wasn't always the case with the trains though, but it was mostly the case. Oh, Albert, so why did you get your size plates again? Said Falcon. Oh, I don't know. I wish I could ask Gordon Edwards, said Albert. We don't have time to keep on chattering about Gordon Edwards right now, said Proteus. We need to get going. And they steamed, and they carried on steaming off. Stuart, Jim, Tim and Jerry aren't the same class. None of them are, but they still pulled the trains together. Oh, Jim, I must say you look marvellous with that new shape, said Stuart. Thank you, said Jim. And so do you, said Jim to Stuart. Oh, thank you, said Stuart. And you look marvellous in that shape as well, Tim. Oh, thank you, so do you, said Tim. Thank you, said Stuart. And you look marvellous in that shape as well, Jerry. Oh, thank you, Stuart, said Jerry. And they all steamed off with and worked together. Some engines got along. Ah, Alfred, I like those new modifications you've got. Thank you. You also have them, said Alfred. I know. We're not complete with them yet, though, are we? Said Rox. No, we're not, said Alfred. But Atlas is the only one that hasn't got these modifications yet. Oh, stop it, you two, laughed Atlas. We've got a job to do. Let's do it later. Let's complain about it later, said Atlas. Okay, said Rox, and they steamed off. Now you can see some engines go along better than others. However, like I said before, some didn't get along as well. Why do you have to be so slow, said Stanley. I'm not slow, you're slow, said Smudger. You were the cause of the manager's death, said Stanley. No, you were. No, you, no, you, no, you, no, you, no, you, no, you, no, no, you, no, you, no, you, no, you, no, you, no, you, no, you. And even the old timers and one of the new timers were even putting the trains together. Oh, hello, Crimson. So how was your day today, said Duke. It was amazing, said Crimson. Let's get putting this train, eh? Yes, said Crimson. And what about me, said Bertram. Don't worry, Bertram, we haven't forgotten about you. You look very nice today, said Bertram. You look nice too, Duke. Thank you, Bertram. And you too, Crimson. Oh, thank you, Bertram, said Crimson. And they steamed off with their train. Soon the railway rebuild was complete, and all the engines gathered to the sheds for the grand opening. Even the most hated engines of enemies were even not fighting. Then Jordan Edwards gave out his speech. Everybody, it's been a hard couple months for us all. Crimson has overstayed his stay, but I'm sure he's okay with that for helping us with rebuilding the railway. We'll be going back to the Italian railway after we finish this speech. Gordon Edwards, you will be missed. Hopefully you can guide us with our future plans. Amen. All the engines did the same prayer. Now, we must get to the grand opening. And all the engines whistled and cheered, with the rolling stock cheering for them as well. Now, Crimson, I think it's time for you to head back to the Italian railway. Yes, sir, said Crimson. Nice being with you all. See you again next year, said Crimson. On Crimson Day, the engines were happy. They weren't even sad that Crimson was going, as they didn't have to wait as long for the next Crimson Day. And Crimson steamed off to the Italian railway. Everybody cheered as Crimson left. Even Gertrude and Millicent were happy. The end.